Semifinals and the living's easy. We're getting into our second to last set of the afternoon. We're going to take a look at Flex Gaming versus Squirtle Squad.
Team Flex.
Team Flex, Flex Gaming, esports,
Flex Esports.
Team Flex
regular
esports.
sports, right?
I mean, these guys certainly, they certainly came out to play. They certainly come out to flex a lot of the times. This is one of the bigger, high-profile games that I think we're going to get a chance to look at.
Squirtle Squad, actually pretty impressive from what we saw. They had a really good game before. We're looking a lot towards their mid laner Spartyman to continue that Janus play, but now he's going to be going up against Lassiz, a much different caliber of player.
Yeah, it's going to be a different level of competition for Spartyman and the rest of the Squirtle Squad. But honestly, I think that a lot of people, myself included, came into this broadcast like, all right, we'll fast forward to the finals. We'll see problem solved and Flex face off against each other. And while that's still probably the top card, the favorite, I really and truly do think the Squirtle Squad has a chance to topple this Flex.
Flex can't have a problem here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like an opinion. That is like a fact. If they have a problem with the Squirtle Squad, they're going to get run over by problem solved. Because Baskin alone is like, he should not be in this tournament.
Sure.
Lassiz probably shouldn't be in this tournament either. But like, Baskin is... I mean, Andy put it on Twitter yesterday. For those of you who don't know, the captain of the former C9 squad, Annenster, said that he just lost what is probably the best player in the entire world.
Which, for Annenster to say that, I mean, that's from the mouth of someone who's considered the best player in the entire world. So, definitely a lot of talent over there in the solo lane for problem solved. But for Team Flex, I don't want to say quite the opposite, but as far as experience is concerned, quite the opposite. Mattypocket, a tenured support player, is going to be transitioning into the short lane over there. So we'll see how well he can stand up against the squadron of Squirtles that we're going to see. So
P's and B's already. We're going to be jumping right into the game. This one's live, folks. Should be good. Squirtle Squad going up against Team Flex, and the Squirtle Squad has first pick, first ban.
We'll take a look. Oh, well, they have name changed. No longer the Squirtle Squad.
We caught that.
Squirtle Squad on the blue side with the first pick. And as we said, this is the first time that a lot of people, and sure, I know I'm going to get tweets, I've seen them scrim, I've seen them stream. This is the first time we actually get to see Team Flex on the big stage here in what is almost Pro Smite.
Well, they're starting off strong. They banned Robin from the second pick. I mean,
doing everything right so far.
All they need now is, okay, that was going to say ban Alquang, but they don't even need to do that. At this point, it's like, do you ban Athena, give away Geb? Maybe. Do you let both through? Not a bad idea. They can take away someone like Sol. Kronos, I think, is not a bad idea. Looking over towards the solo lane. Vamana, very important. It's going to be Sol.
I think Sol is one of the characters that impacts the game in a different way than some of the other characters you mentioned. Characters like Kronos and stuff can control the game if given the opportunity, but Sol has an immediate impact, and it's about what you do with that impact versus what you do with the character to create an impact. So I like the Sol ban, actually, in Squirtle Squad. Going to start off with the Isis.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean,
why not?
The dude, Spartyman, just had probably the best game of his entire life on Janus, a character that is impossible to kill, and he goes for a much squishier target, giving away Athena and Janus.
And see, that to me, so Spartyman, I've seen him play Agni in the Combine, and he played just as well as he did on the Janus. But for me, I don't mind the Isis pick. I would have rather see the Janus because I know how scary Lassiz's Janus is.
Yeah, for real.
And that's really the point for me when we take a look at this one. Chiron selected for likely the long lane on Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Have we? Well, yes and no. We have seen Hunters in the solo lane.
We have.
Season 3.
Chiron's not great anymore in that lane. His small amount of sustainability is good. Masterful shot's very important. But, I mean, if Tyr or Vamana run at you, you die.
Yeah. That's generally always the situation when it comes to Tyr or Vamana here in our Season 3 of Smite. Team Flex rounds out their first round of picks with Thor. And once again, I don't think we've directly referenced it, but keep a look out at the bottom of your screen. There are now 2 additional bans instead of just 1 additional ban. That's what we're seeing in Season 3 is that there are now 8 total bans, 4 for each team. So Fenrir and Odin banned out right away, and now we have a second ban for round 2.
A strange Fenrir ban. I'm not sure where they got the homework done on that one. Guan Yu getting taken away. little suspect as well, I would say.
Well, Fenrir is more one size fits all in my opinion. He's just a monster. Sure. I mean, he was a powerful god. You throw a red pot on him, he's going to continue to be powerful. Sure. And with the change to purification, Ragnarok and his instant stun is all that more scary. But the Guan Yu and the Rom are curious to me. Let me say that again. The Rom is curious. Why would you ban a Rom, a character that
with Hou-Yi open?
Yeah.
I wonder if Turnip or Oceans rather has the Hou-Yi on lock.
Well, that's one thing that I was. So Oceans is probably the only unknown player here on Team Flex. You mentioned he previously went by Turnip.
Right.
So we know Incon, we know Lassiz, we know Daretocare. We've seen these players. Met Yankee, or my mistake. Oceans is the hunter, and Mattypocket will give Vamana his debut.
It's taken like 15 games for us to see this character picked. I mean, again, in my opinion, at worst, you're looking at 5th, maybe 6th best character in the game, and he makes it all the way down to 7th pick.
You and I have both been speaking about Vamana at length. He's just, and I can't believe we got through an entire broadcast in Europe without seeing the Vamana. And you know, I'm a Naja fan. I don't. This is a strange pick for me, Naja into Vamana.
You can't pick Naja into Vamana.
I will always like Naja into Thor, but Naja is a non-factor to the big baby.
Right. I mean, if at any point Naja uses his ultimate, Vamana will kill him for free.
Yep.
Even with Geb Shield, Vamana will kill him for free. There's literally nothing that Squirtle Squad can do to block it. They needed a structure, really, to stop Big Baby. The final pick's going to be Medusa. Hou-Yi making it through picks and bans.
Very, very interesting situation here, and we'll see Oceans make his relegation debut on Medusa, and you know, unless they throw us a curve, but most likely we'll see Medusa in that long lane. Bellona versus Vamana. So Vamana's a character that a lot of our recent fans just haven't seen any of, and really, I mean, the last time I can think back to when Vamana was relevant was pentakills from Game Hunter. So why don't you refresh our mind on a little bit of what Vamana does in lane and how he goes up against this Bellona?
So, you know, a lot of people see the recent changes to Vamana with the ultimate and see a pretty powerful character. Aside from that, not much has changed, and people are wondering why he's become so powerful. And that has to do largely with the fact that the meta has shifted. Vamana will always function well in a meta where characters are a little more squishy, considering he makes himself very hard to kill, heals himself pretty well while rushing down in a way that he cannot be stopped. The character does a lot of damage, has great clear, is almost uncontested in the solo lane when trying to clear the wave, and has one of the best endgames for a warrior, period.
So really what it comes down to is warriors, there isn't a... It's not binary. You're not a warrior or not a warrior. Warriors fall on various levels of the scale, and Vamana is the aggressive version of a warrior, similar to, I guess you could compare her to Bellona, a character that deals more, she's more aggro than she is defensive, as opposed to, I don't know, who would you put in that defensive category? Like an Osiris? Guan Yu, Osiris, Hercules, even more on the defensive side of that sort of warrior spectrum. And here, we're going to see minions spawn in a little bit. This is probably, honestly, my favorite change of Season 3. Minions spawn at 3 seconds instead of 10.
5 seconds. 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
I was trying to get that change before Worlds, but people thought it was too soon for the Chinese teams to become accustomed to it, considering they play on a patch behind sometimes.
And you know, I respect that. I don't traditionally like changes in between like super regionals and then Worlds. You know, play on that patch. And
it's 5 seconds though. It just makes the game better. This change was largely put in specifically to ensure that you could get to lane without the creeps dying, ensuring a much more fair route to lane depending on which route you want to take, and gives you a little bit more flexibility in the way that you get to play the game in the early stages.
We could pretend like it, but we all know it's a change for casters, not having to just talk nonsense while you're waiting 10 seconds for those minions to spawn. But Purple Pot Isis is a scary sight, and it's what we see Spartyman start off with in the mid lane.
See, this worries me. Purple Pot Isis to me is, like, I mean, we've seen a few pro players do it, but for the most part, it's a rank strategy. It's exactly what it is in my mind. It's, I'm going to try to kill you when you go for mid camps, and immediately Team Flex just moves out of the way of it. They're like, you can do whatever you need to do. They're going to rotate over towards the elementals. I thought they were going to go for Matty, who's having a little bit of trouble so far.
Yeah, the clear for Bellona the clear for Bellona is a little bit more dominant earlier on, I would say, for the Vamana. What is it? Level 8. He'll be able to just one-shot the wave with his abilities, but until then, it'll be a little bit of a fight.
I don't know, man. I mean, at level 4, usually, even level 2. At level 4, though, he'll walk up, he'll throw the boomerang. Actually, even level 3, he'll throw out the 2, needs one auto attack, he'll be able to clear it. He should be out-clearing Bellona at this stage.
He does have the interrupt for the bludgeon, so that's definitely
Yes.
something he needs to think about using his dash to really knock that up during the bludgeon to remove some of the Bellona poke. But there's a lot of poke on the Hunter. Oceans taking a little bit of poke from Chiron. So the health totals in general, I think they're still on Team Flex's side because of the off-put. You see both members of Squirtle Squad down a little bit, whereas it's just Oceans.
Right side again, getting aggressive. UzzyWuzzy, you'll see, always going towards the archers and then immediately using the Scourge to stop him from being able to auto-attack. Very smart. Matty still winds up hitting level 5 first.
No fear out of UzzyWuzzy here. And that's one of the things when you're looking at a team that is tenured is the wrong word. I want to say famous, right?
Yeah.
Just name powers is powerful, and
The players
UzzyWuzzy
themselves are veterans.
exactly. You know, there's something to that, both the way you play around players that are that tenured. Level 5 on the Naja,
no!
and the ultimate is missed. And a strong purifications will save him from the 1-2 punch out of the Janus.
No. He even waited out Lassiz's beats.
Yep.
Very smart. He baited well. Actually, maybe even props to Cynosure for being threatening enough to make Lassiz know that he was going to go and fully commit, because it seemed to me like that was going to be a bait from the beginning. But that missed ult. I mean, you got to watch those.
I mean, I say it every time. That's why I like Smite. He made every right decision and then just mechanically couldn't seal the deal. Later on, watching what we saw from Cynosure earlier in the contest or in the tournament, I think we won't see too many of those miss ults. But you know, you gotta. At the end of the day, you gotta hit your spells.
Speaking of hitting spells, Spartyman gets a little bit of damage on a Daretocare. About 2 minutes left on these potions.
He even got the Harpy. If you look at the graph.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he got the Harpy.
Nice.
They got one each.
But they got 2 minutes left on these potions. They've invested 450 gold extra into extra early damage. At this point, it seems like the game kind of belongs to Flex if they can hold out for another minute and a half.
Exactly. That's really what you got to think of when you're looking at those red pot starts. When you're looking at a jungler with red pot, it's a different story because sometimes that's just the amount of power you need to really do what you have to do. But when you're in the middle lane, you can function without that purple pot. So if you don't get anything off of it, i.e. a kill, it's an issue.
Let's play the speculation game. Vamana Bellona. What are we going to see for builds here? I assume Vamana's going to go directly into Urchin. As for Bellona, I would expect the Midgardian male's likely the best possible bet in the early game. Especially considering she's fighting their main sources of damage are going to be physical.
Honestly, Frostbound Hammer is pretty much the Frostbound Hammer or Fatalis on Season 3 of Vamana.
This early, though?
No, a question just in the grand scheme of the build. Where does he go? Because Fatalis or Frostbound are pretty much, you got to choose one.
I like both.
Both?
I've been building both. And being pretty happy.
So do
with
you
it.
actually literally run circles around your opponent as you slow them and go fast?
I mean, that's another thing. Like, if you look at this comp, Cynosure, if his ult's down, has no escape possibility from Vamana. None. Isis has no escape possibility. I mean, UzzyWuzzy can use his ult defensively to get away from him, and then Turtleman has to dash away. If it's caught, he's dead.
See, for me, I'm actually going to go Fatalis without the Frostbound because I want to see a Witchblade. You've got the Bellona. You've got the Chiron, and then late game, you want to stop Naja from critting you for 1,000.
Mattypocket forced to ult here. A lot of damage taken. Uzzy just landing auto attacks. He'll be smart to not hit Matty too many times here, ensuring that Matty will just come down as fast as possible, not gaining a lot of health back.
UzzyWuzzy's going to use that to make a little bit of a rotation. Nothing to be gained outside of these elementals, but that's exactly what they're there for. You get a small little bit of a lead in mid or solo, you can pick that up. If you get a small little bit of time in the jungle, you can pick that up. And right now, Thor is going to pick himself up.
What's he looking for here?
Mid lane lands right onto Cynosure. A lot of damage coming out for the double tap, but there's just no follow-up. Incon's looking to change that, but Daretocare, a little bit of a Lone Ranger there.
What? Yeah, what was that?
Hey, I think Dare just overestimated the amount of damage he had.
Maybe that, or Incon didn't get the ult off in time. He was trying to go for the Athena Thor combo. Lassiz had his ultimate as well. It really seemed like Dare made the call there, and no one followed up. Perhaps a worrisome start for the Flex boys.
Yeah, interesting situation there. I've always liked Dare in the jungle, so...
Looks like Matty's, by the way, going to start out with Breastplate of Valor. Not a bad pick. Physical defense against the major physical right side of the map, on top of the fact that he will gain cooldown reduction as well. But if he does decide to go into Height of the Urchin, it might take a little while longer to get those stacks online.
In Matty's same mindset, though, Vamana is definitely a character that needs to stick in the oven. You want to stay in the solo lane and farm. So
until he's golden brown.
Yeah, he just might not plan on being involved in anything until he builds another item. which is Urchin. So
he's got to be careful about the Vamana curse. Whenever you play Vamana and you're not the little blueberry, you lose. You have to be the little blueberry skin.
Oh.
It's very important.
See, I thought you were talking about the curse interacting with his ultimate.
Right, that's part of it.
Because he has to be careful about the enemies having curse.
Well, that's the thing. If you're a blueberry, the purpleness of the curse is leveled out.
Well, it's also as a Vamana, you really don't have anything outside of your dash, so if your enemy's on curse voice, they're going to have better communication.
Okay, all right. That was good.
We got 3 separate curses. I'm on a roll today.
We're done now. I'm going to move on. Let's check out Golden Hand here. You'll see experience per minute. Bellona was definitely on top, and a Golden Hand 1,800 right now. Now, again, she has some options here. Frostbound, Midgardian Mail, or Heidi the Urchin, I'm going to assume are going to be one of her first major pickups. Spirit Robe, not bad to start off with as well.
Take a look at what Athena's doing right here from Incon. I'm sorry to hard divert, but this is so interesting to me. Boots not being finished, going into a Winged Blade, but one more time, Daretocare is in the air, lands directly on Cynosure. This time he's got some backup, but Cynosure's got backup of his own. Heals up off of the Isis ultimate, 1 hit away, and Lassiz is going to secure it with a hot basic.
The whole time, I don't know what Geb was doing, and Ocean solos down Turtleman over on the right side. Turtleman hot with a misplay, as you'll notice. Not only are his purification active, I don't know what could have stopped him, perhaps a root, but he didn't even use his ultimate.
Oh, wow. The ultimate that prevents you from dying.
I mean, there was no way the ultimate was going to do enough damage, perhaps, right? That's what he's thinking. The issue is he could have at least cleared the wave.
Sure.
At least get the golden experience online. Do something to augment how much golden experience you've just lost. So it's going to be Oceans, and it's going to be Lassiz credited with a fair amount of gold.
Team Flex right now, luck is the wrong term. I guess it's fate, but they definitely got the correct dice roll here because Oceans is the rookie. He's the new player. Yep. He's the question mark on this roster, and those that have seen him in ranked have good things to say about him, but it's a much different world when there are thousands of people watching you and you're being commentated by the Pro League commentators. His direct opponent is Turtleman. Yeah. Right? So it's a player that, he played well last game, but he's not a big boy. He's not somebody that's going to scare Oceans. So it's good that Oceans has this opportunity to really flex his stuff here, no pun intended, in the semifinals.
As for the solo laners, you'll notice both have picked up Breastplate of Valor. A strange pickup in my eyes for Bellona, a character who doesn't really utilize cooldown reduction as well, at least not in the early game. She doesn't rely on extra bludgeons. She's relying on the ability to box.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really...
Oh.
Ooh, wow. UzzyWuzzy gets a bite taken out of him thanks to Thor. Here's some follow-up damage, and that is a dead Bellona. Thor, where you going, buddy?
Right to the mid-camps. Very smart use of his time. Daretocare knows that he doesn't need to help his team. Oh, they're going to go for this.
They're going to go right behind their opponents in the mid lane. Squirtle Squad
the wall?
smelled it out.
There it is. Double tap. No, doesn't get it. Daretocare out of mana.
Incon's going to channel the ult. Now the Athena ultimate's down. Still a win for Team Flex.
They get the beads off of Isis. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, those beads are 144 seconds left on that mid lane beads. And it's an Isis. I mean, Isis is not the most vulnerable mage, but certainly no Janus.
Speaking of Janus, Lassiz sitting with 50 stacks on the Doom Orb. Turtleman about to get soloed down again. Oceans 1 hit away. Doesn't look like he has the dash online. Turtleman will barely escape with his life.
Incon looked like he wanted to go deep for that one, but shies away. Before all that action, I started to talk about this build, which is something that, honestly, Jigs talked to me a little bit about. The 1,200 gold that it costs to finish up these boots is not worth it in juxtaposition to the stats you can get from a cheap item like Winged Wand, and then, as we said before, you want to build up those Urchin stacks. So it looks weird. Just has boots 1, but it's all... There's a method to the madness.
Whereas Geb, avoiding the Urchin, looks like he's going into Breastplate for some extra cooldown reduction. I would assume that means he's going to go into cooldown boots, giving himself 30 total CDR. Yeah, okay, it looks like Uzzy will get the blue buff. Top side, Mattypocket already has his. He's going to the back camps, level 13 each for the solo laners, but that's the only time that it's going to be soloed. Every other person on Squirtle Squad is at a level and gold deficit as opposed to their opponent.
You know something funny? I'm taking a look here at Mattypocket. The entirety of his team they have the Team Flex clan tag. Matty has the Pickler.
What is Pickler?
He likes pickles. That's a thing in his stream chat. Mattypocket is a big streamer, and I'm honestly giving you all of the info I have. He just likes pickles, man. I just find it funny that he's not in the Team Flex.
Shout out to Vinegar and some sort of
Cucumbers.
peppers and chili oils.
Cucumbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. You can get fancy, but at the end of the day, a
Well,
good pickle is just brine.
You can pickle anything. Pickle whatever you want. Doesn't have to be a cucumber. You pickle
it's
onions,
vinegar
pickle
and
ginger.
brine, right? That's about it. And right now,
Certain rice is pickled for sushi.
and that's what Mattypocket's trying to do. He wants to pickle himself, become a better solo laner. No, not
Turtleman
quite.
saved
But that
this
Geb
time.
ult was good. 3 players stunned out.
Oh, I don't know about all that. A 10,000 damage swing from Oceans as Daretocare takes to the sky looking for a follow-up. He's going to go into the backline. Cynosure inside the Isis ult, however, will be saved. Double tap, teleport, one shot, got him. Daretocare outplaying 2 as Lassiz joins the fray.
And that's why Daretocare has found himself on a number of top-tier teams. Very low as Lassiz popping his Sanctuary will save his life for a moment, and he finds a way out, turns around to deal the damage, but Ohmayne is able to put him into the
Bellona,
ground.
one shot, gonna find another one. Picks up Oceans, keeps going. Daretocare getting low here. Curse gonna be used. Uzzy's not gonna find the teleport. Incon will be able to lock that one down to push it away. Uzzy finds 2, but not enough.
UzzyWuzzy liked the play. Because of UzzyWuzzy, there are now 2 kills on the board for Squirtle Squad. Prior to that exchange, Squirtle Squad had yet to find a kill, and although they definitely don't come out on top of that situation, it's a good thing to get things started.
That is the second time now we have seen Cynosure choke in the face of Lassiz. The first time missing the ultimate going into the tower and kind of getting put into a bad spot. Pretty sure he got his beats forced by just a normal portal. Lassiz able to get in his head a little bit. Right there, missing a very important auto attack. That wasn't Lassiz juking, although it was. If this was baseball, that wouldn't have been a hit for Lassiz. It would have been a very serious error for Cynosure.
I like that a lot. And right now, Squirtle Squad like those mid-cams. Wind up picking them up. But ultimately, Team Flex still in the lead. 4 kills, but only 2,000 gold, which is a good look if you're a Squirtle Squad fan. Blink forward, and all of a sudden, Lassiz is being taken to the sky. This is likely to be a dead Janus. There's the follow-up ball. Did not miss that basic.
Do we need the Chiron ult too? Jeez, focus the streamer, man. My God.
Which one?
Is this a rank game?
Which streamer?
I think that's why they're having a problem.
There are 3 players on this team that get thousands of viewers. Daretocare finds himself in a trouble spot. He's just going to take to the sky, no problem for Thor. And Mattypocket able to find himself safely in lane as well. Nothing really of consequence.
Turtleman walking back over with a 3-level deficit to Oceans right now, who has just flat out gotten the better of him on every exchange.
And these rotations aren't helping him either.
No.
He's taking himself out of lane, and Oceans is certainly happy to stay in lane by himself.
Ohmayne equal level now to Incon. Turtleman still 3 levels down. Spartyman equal as well. Cynosure finds himself at level 13, tying Daretocare. And Uzzy, of course, still tied with Mattypocket. Although Matty has actually worked back the gold lead as he builds into Bulwark for his next item.
Bulwark is, again, we spoke about it before, definitely one of the better items here. But CDR, it's so funny that both of our solo laners have breastplates, and neither of these characters really strike me as CDR characters.
Well, Vamana, I think, gets away with it pretty well. Extra dashes allows him to reinitiate and initiate an escape without having to use his ultimate. And then, of course, Armored Umbrella is one of the most ridiculous abilities that has ever been put into the game. In fact, when we reworked Kali, we specifically took Armored Umbrella out of her kit because she had it. Lash was the same move.
I remember Lash. This is a big old cone. But you know what always comes to mind when I see a Vamana in a game? I always just picture the lonely Vamana in the ultimate and everybody out of range. I want to see movement speed and slows on a Vamana generally. And attack speed.
Frostbound or Fatalis needs to be after that Bulwark. In fact, Frostbound should have been done already.
Frostbound accomplishes both goals of keeping your enemy where you want them and also increasing your defensiveness.
Nice.
Gold Fury already down past 50%, and blue team still pushes the envelope. There's the damage out of the right side from the Janus, and Lassiz gets the double kill with a single ability, helps out with the Vortex, and now Spartyman is in trouble. Oceans is the one, so 2 double kills on the side of Team Flex. UzzyWuzzy the only one alive, and the Gold Fury is also dead. So Team Flex has extended their lead 4,700 gold.
A pretty simple fight, it seemed like, for Team Flex. I really didn't understand why Geb was continuing to tank up this Gold Fury when he didn't have a way to continue fighting it.
That was a very, very strange turn of events for Squirtle Squad. I think they were a little confident in their abilities there. And right now, Team Flex just barking down this mid lane tower as well.
Is this 2 out of 3, by the way?
This is a best out of 3.
Okay.
We saw the early surrender vote has started, so maybe Squirtle Squad in their own head, maybe a little bit. We'll take a look at how everything goes. Still very early in this game. Squirtle Squad down 5K, but definitely a game that Squirtle Squad can come back from.
I mean, Uzzy's not in a bad spot. I'm a little worried about the Nasha. I mean, when Nasha gets behind, he really doesn't bring anything to the end game. Spartyman, again, I'm not sure where the first pick ISIS came into their brain. Like, why would I pick this character with no CC immunity who's going up against a team who normally is going to have... What?
Well, Squirtle Squad
What?
give up game number 1, and Team Flex are going to be up on top.
What?
It's the best of 3, so they have another shot. So, I think the last thing I just said was, well, Squirtle Squad down about 5K, but they're definitely not out of this, right?
I wouldn't even F6 that if that was ranked.
I wouldn't either. Squirtle Squad have to be in their own heads. I am legitimately surprised here. I'll say it. I don't agree with that decision.
Let's check out the first blood. We'll see how things got started so cleanly for the boys of Flex, and with that, we'll be riding along with Lassiz.
He's just very cut and dry. Cynosure gets hit by the basic.
He throws down a threshold, make sure that he gets locked down, a little bit of movement speed, sprint gets popped, he moves up, hits him with the old school shot. First blood.
Just one right to the front. And then let's take a look at one of the last sequences that we saw. Lassiz got the double kill off of the single ultimate right here.
I love this. I mean, it's just...
It's not even a spirit gun, it's a spirit taser because he's so close.
He throws down a beautiful portal, gets 2, unstable vortex, hits 3, and then just slam right through the whole team. They're just stacking up.
And we'll see the follow-up kill here for the second part of the double kill out of the other player, but I love to watch Janus players instinctively, you see this with ISIS players as well, back up while they're casting.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to get the extra damage from the further I am away, even if it's 2 damage, I'm going to go for it and get it and find myself on top. So, I mean, Flex comes out, and this is interesting. Flex came out, they won handedly in 16 minutes.
Yeah.
But I vehemently believe that Squirtle Squad was in that game.
Yeah, they need to change things for game 2. Nasha, I don't think, should be the pick here.
Sure.
That or Cynosure needs to get it together because the nerves were clearly rocking him that game. I don't know where first pick ISIS came from. I thought Uzzy did well. I think Ohmayne was kind of in it. Except for the first blood, I really feel like Geb probably could have gotten in there and blocked a few shots. I felt like he was overcommitted. Communications got to tighten up. Otherwise, Flex is going to run through them again real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of the same things that you did over there. I actually do like UzzyWuzzy over in that solo lane.
Yeah.
And the first pick ISIS, I mean, if you really think about it and how deep it goes, well, all right, I'm going up against Lassiz. You assume this guy's a veteran. He's been playing since literally Smite came out.
Right.
He might have his leg up on me. Let me pick a god that'll give me lane dominance early.
Okay.
Right? And then, hey, Daretocare is all over the jungle. Let me pick a god that can save objectives early with Circle of Protection. So in that, I kind of understand where that first pick ISIS came from, but Spartyman looked like a different player in that game.
That was not the same player we saw against Salamanders, who won the game.
Yeah.
One death, and it was to the Titan. That was ending the game.
I don't even count that death. Like I don't even count that death. It shows up on the scoreboard, but I mean, he died with the Titan. That is an undefeated. That is a non-death for me. And he comes in, and it looks like a completely different game. So I think it's a little. Sometimes I think it's a little unfair for us to sit here and say, oh, they're in their own heads or whatnot. But I think very clearly that something was going on outside of the game there.
With that, game 1's in the books. Remember, guys, this is a 2 out of 3. These are live. Players are getting into the game in just a little bit. Stick around. We'll be right back.